Hey there, here we are, Math 116, moving on to section 0.3. This is all exponents. They call this integral exponents because they're not fractions. We're going to get into the fractions into another section. All right, integral exponents. So let's start with question number 3. This question just says, write all of the answers without using exponents. And it sounds a little strange, but here's the problem. -2 raised to the 6th. So what they mean is, you take the negative, let's do 2 to the 6th first. You can do this on your calculator, just type in 2 raised to the 6th. But you can also see that's 64. So -64. So the answer is -64. The reason I picked this problem is this is different from -2 raised to the 6th. So that would be -2 times -2 times -2. This is fun, right? -2 times -2 times -2. All these would cancel, and that would be positive 64. But that wasn't the question. It was -2 raised to the 6th. So watch out for those parentheses. -64. Okay, question number 7. Question number 7. On the same page, this is roughly page 19. It reads, negative, simplify the following expression, 3/2 squared. Okay, again, we're going to want to square it and then take the negative. So this is negative. If you want, you can think of it as 3 squared divided by 2 squared. I am going to add a few steps. Most of you won't include these steps, but 3 squared is 9 divided by 4. So the answer is -9/4. So essentially, the little point here is you want to take the square thing, do the exponents first, and then add a negative if the negative's sort of on the outside like this. Again, it would have been different if it was -3/2 squared. That would have been +9/4. What? Yes, it's true, but it was negative that. Okay, new page. So I'm going to do a lot of these exponent problems because they all have their different little weirdness. So this is question number 11. It says simplify with positive exponents. You guys use positive exponents in your words. Doesn't that sound like some sort of buzzword thing? Positive exponents. How to communicate in business. All right, so we have 10 to the 8th, all divided by 10 to the 9th. And it's, what is the, write this in positive exponents. Well, you might say, well, they already are in positive exponents, but we have to simplify too. So that's the other part of it. So first thing I like to do is get them all on the same level. So let's bring the 10 to the 9th up to the top. There's lots of ways to do this, and you could do this you may not choose these steps. So whenever something goes from top to bottom or bottom to top, like it takes the elevator, that's how I think of it. It took the elevator up to the top floor, then it switches to -9. So now, using our exponent law, we can add these two together. So that's 8, you could think -9, or 8 plus -9. This used to drive my dad crazy when I'd write plus negative. Oh, he'd get so mad. In a very professorial way. So that's 10 to the -1. Okay, but we're supposed to use positive exponents, remember, being positive. So that's back to 1/10. Some of you are thinking, why did she do it that way? That's nutso. You could just think of it as there's 8 of these on top, right? There's a total of 8 of those 10s, because it's 10 to the 8th. And on the bottom, there's 9, right? There's 9 of these on the bottom, so you can cancel the first 8 out, and that leaves 1/10, because there was 8 10s on the top and 9 10s on the bottom. You just kind of cancel them out, and that leaves 1 on the bottom. You can do it that way too. So if you don't like the way I'm doing it, but you get the same answer, awesome. Math is a place for creative people. Okay, next problem. Need a new page. Okay, still with section 0.3 in the book, looking at question number 15. I'm trying to do these both quickly enough that you don't get bored, but not so fast that you're wondering what the heck happened. So this question says 3 cubed. It's a little redundant and potentially annoying. 3 cubed. So what you want to remember, the rule here, is that before we were adding the exponents, but now we have to multiply them. Because you can remember it's like this. 3 cubed is like this. 3 cubed times 3 cubed times 3 cubed. So you would now add them because they're multiplied together. So that's 3 to the 3 plus 3 plus 3. This whole thing is 3 raised to the 9. So you multiply them when it's in a power. Okay? So 3 to the 9 is the answer to that one. Some of these you might want to write the answer down or write an example on your note card. Other ones you might just want to practice till you sort of have a sense for it. So question number 19. Eventually, and I do promise you this is true, you will do these problems without having to consult with the rules. You'll just kind of get a sense for it. So question number 19, we're still expressing with positive exponents. So this x squared to the negative cubed, again, these are going to multiply. So when you see it raised to a power, you have to multiply. So it's 2 times negative 3, which is x to the negative 6, expressing with positive exponents. So that's 1 over, remember he took the elevator, now he's going to the basement, so he switches signs. It's a strange elevator, isn't it? You only go up or down, and every time you do, you switch signs. So that's the answer to question number 19. And do I have room? Nope, I'll do 35. My pen lost it. Question number, I was just trying to think of the one I just did. 35. So question number 35. I was going to read the instructions. Again, simplify so that only positive exponents remain. We have 2 raised, or 2 divided by x to the 5th, all raised to the 4th. How do we get ourselves in these situations? So the 4 we're going to distribute the power here, so that becomes 2 to the 4th, all divided by x to the 5th. If you want, you can think of it like this, to the 4th. It's kind of a step most of you won't do. 2 to the 4th, in this case, you can think of this as 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. That is what 2 to the 4th is. I wouldn't lie to you about that. It's 4 times 4. Anyway, my point is, this is 16. That's my point. 16. 2 to the 4th is 16. You can do it on your calculator. That works too. In this one, we multiply. So it's 5 times 4, which is 20. So remember, when the exponents are in the power, you multiply. There's probably some Pokemon allegory I could make there about powers and multiplying, but I don't know enough about Pokemon, sorry. 43, here we have x cubed, we're still simplifying, all divided by y to the negative 2 raised to the negative 3. So again, I'm going to choose some steps to do this. If you choose a different step, that's completely fine with me. There's not only one way to do this, but you can do it like this. This is x to the 3 times negative 3. So basically we have to take this power and distribute it. So it's x cubed to the 3rd. So we multiply. Y to the negative half times y to the negative 3. So we multiply those. So it's y to the negative 2 times negative 3. So I'm distributing that negative 3 power. That's x to the negative 9, all divided by y to the negative times negative is positive, y to the 6th. That's nice. Uh-oh, we have a negative exponent. That's no good. We're supposed to speak and write in terms of positive exponents. So he goes down, he takes the elevator down to the basement, 1 over x to the 9. He had to change his sign when he went down to the basement. And then y to the 6th. Ta-da! Like that. That was question 43. So I'm going to do another video, which will be very short, which looks at question number 61. But that's the basics of some exponents.